Page 4, Out of Darkness. Here's a fast forward version to get to the point in time where it began. I quit that job in Wyoming. My marriage started to get worse. Went back to the pipeline for a while. Finally got tired of being gone. Came home, started a business, and Jenna purposely put me in jail twice. We separated in 2025. I'm not going to say that I was perfect in any of that, but I didn't do what she said. Anyhow. However, we were both verbally abusing each other awfully. So the fighting was bad. So anyways, that being said, by the time we were separated, Jenna had convinced all our friends and family that I was a wife-beating, drug addict, deadbeat degenerate, good for nothing who had gone crazy. Where there is crazy, there is always a crazy maker. The point is, once I loaded my truck and left, I had nowhere to turn to except one friend. His name was Brandon. And I'm not going to use his full name in this for obvious reasons in this story. I had known Brandon for at least 15 years and he was my plug. But more than that, he was a friend of mine who had not too long ago went through a similar divorce. Brandon was the only person who offered me a place to stay as long as I helped out. Brandon's house was a whole story on its own. It was haunted for real. He even had a paranormal investigation team come to his house and confirm it. I was there. Shortly after living there, I started to notice I was being followed. Brandon's best friend was a ranking member of a gang, and I was new to the scene, so I wasn't alarmed by their presence. In their line of work, it's important to know who people are and what their intentions are. I met a bunch of people while I lived there, but I tried to stay to myself. I'd kept myself busy with odd jobs or scrapping metal or selling scrap pallets. I didn't get involved in Brandon's side business because my head and heart were broken and I didn't want to bring any heat to Brandon's house, especially since I was the only guy in a silver belly Stetson cowboy hat driving a big red diesel pickup around town. My nickname was Cowboy for obvious reasons. At that time in our circle, I was the only cowboy. One night, Brandon and me, plus a friend of mine named Tanner Fry, were hanging out at the house. It was a calm night for once, and no one had been in and out of the house. The three of us were in Brandon's room doing hot rails and watching the paranormal activity on his security cameras. As I sat there watching the screens, I started to notice along the street that there were 4 or 5 infrared lights closing in on the house, like what you might see from the field cameras on a SWAT team. I brought it to their attention, but I was the only one who could see it. I tried to explain it and show them a few more times, and and decided that they were right. It was just me. Then a few minutes later, some guy wearing a cowboy hat came to Brandon's front door. He was careful not to show his face, claiming to be Cowboy. We all looked at each other and came to the same conclusion that this guy was trying to imitate me, the real Cowboy. My truck was parked in the back instead of in front on the curb like it usually was. So we ignored him and he finally left. But the field cams didn't. They started to converge on the house again. I asked one more time if they were sure that they couldn't see it. They said no. Okay, maybe I'm tripping, I said. I went to sit in the living room. I sat down in the recliner and put my feet up and closed my eyes for a few breaths, and then I opened my eyes, but I was not in the house anymore. I was outside, floating above the street, looking down at the house. I wasn't alone either. There was a woman, a bruja, floating directly above Brandon's house, looking up, holding her hands out to either side like a cross. Next door was a man standing right outside his front door, looking at the front of Brandon's house. The same thing with the guy across the street. A bright white purplish light was being directed from the two men to Brandon's front door, up out of the roof, through the bruja, into the sky. My spirit knew exactly what it was. They were marking his house. He was a marked man. In time past, ye walked according to the course this world. Pardon me. In time past, ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now works in the children of disobedience. Ephesians 2, verse 2. What I was unsure of then, I have no doubts about now. There were other signs there in the natural and supernatural that everyone could see, but no one knew what it was. I knew in my spirit. As I watched the bruja, she was mumbling some sort of curse along with the two neighbors, but I couldn't hear, plus it sounded like Latin. The next day, it wasn't Spanish, it was like Latin. The next moment, I was what I call half in, half out. It's a clairvoyant state that means in my body and out of my body, able to see two places or times simultaneously. In this case, I was still hovering above the street in front of the house and sitting in the recliner looking into the dark of the living room. The field cam lights I was seeing were now confirmed. I could see a SWAT team. Not only could I see, but I could feel what their plan was and where each one would breach the house. Two were going around back to use a reach rod to grab the release string on the garage door. One would come through the crawl space hole in the garage into the attic access and drop down into the hallway. He would then go to the kitchen and unlock a window and the back door to the garage, then a living room window, and the front door would be unlocked. They were surrounding Brandon's bedroom. Helplessly, I watched, and I just put my hands up in the air as they walked past. One of them patted me on the shoulder as he crept by as they were about to go into his room as I came out of the vision. It felt so real, no one could ever tell me that what I saw was just in my head. And it shall come to pass that in the last days, saith God, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. Acts 2:17. I sat there for a moment to see if they were about to storm in the house, but all was calm. I was sure it meant Brandon was about to get raided, but he never did. At least not that I know of. Although he did leave town in a hurry, saying his house got shot at. I never did get the whole story. Sometime passed, and eventually I packed and left one day without saying anything. Brandon was mad at me for leaving, and we only hung out one more time after that. I was followed even more after I left. I was pretty good at losing them, so they started to work in teams of 3, and always the same 3 cars. All 3 dark charcoal gray with black windows, black rims, blacked out taillights, and there was a Dodge Charger, a Ram 1500, and a Challenger, and they all had the same haircut. No hair at all. They wanted me to know I was followed. They didn't hide it. Eventually, I confronted them, started taking pictures of the plates and faces when I could. I thought they backed off, but they just started using random vehicles in teams of 3, but always the same color. And they started using different people. The wicked watcheth the righteous, and seeketh to slay him. Psalm 37:32. That's page 8.